Hello my lovelies, it is time for round 15 of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. So if you watched last month's Have I Read It, you'll know that I changed things up a little bit. Last month I started doing more than just one Have I Read It. Last month I did 2. This month I'm also going to do 2 as well. It'll increase later in the future to like depending on what hauls I need to do for that month. But this month and for now I'm just sticking with the 2 because trying not to be too complicated. But last month for Have I Read It number 13, I explained that instead of me reacting and selecting 6 books that I haven't read, of course still showing you the whole reaction and showing you all of the books that I haven't read, but you get to vote on which book out of those that I read. And in my Wheel of TBR that I do later this month, I will reveal the winner. So for each book, you can vote just the title. You can say the author if you want, but I'm only going to search for the title of the book. So if you want your vote to count, please, please, please just put the title of the book. You can say whatever else you want in the comment, but I'll be searching specifically for the title. And the title that gets the most votes is the one that I will choose from this particular round of Have I Read It. As I said, there will be 2 rounds of Have I Read It this month, so you will see another part here in a couple of days. And you'll be able to vote on that one as well, and I will pick the top winning one from that one. And I'll reveal them both in my Wheel of TBR. Also, in my Wheel of TBR, I will tell you whether I read the Have I Read It books that were selected from last month's. At this point when I'm filming it, because I'm doing it earlier on so that you have more time for voting, I have not read those, but there's still a lot of time left in the month. Okay, so I have my September 2018 book haul pulled up here, and I have my earbuds. These are my wireless earbuds because my regular ones that I usually would like to use have once again disappeared, and Xander seems to know no idea where they are. So hopefully I can get, I know that with wireless earbuds there's usually some kind of delay, so hopefully I can fix that in the editing. But oh my goodness guys, the thumbnail for this haul, it looks like I have 4 giant stacks of books. Like, also very orange hair. All right, well, let's just get right into it. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a massive book haul of 67 books to show you. Oh my gosh, 67 books. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, I have an insane amount of books here to show you. 67 books I've accumulated since my last regular haul video. I so went overboard. You think? So I'm gonna make these descriptions as short and quick as I possibly can with still telling you about them. Just because there are so many and, well, I only have so much time. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so these books all came from subscription boxes, from a giveaway I won, from orders I placed on ThriftBooks.com, BookDepository.com, Amazon.com, local bookstores, and I think that's it. Oh, no, there was also from the Decatur Book Festival as well. So there's a lot of books here to show you. I've tried to separate them out a little bit, so I can show you all the subscription box books first and then so on and so on. As far as all of the subscription box books, I can't exactly remember which books came in which box at this point, but it's okay. All right, the first book we have here is My Plain Jane by the Lady Janies, Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I have not read that book. Oh, we're starting out. Very first one. I don't know why I'm taking these off. I don't need to. They're Bluetooth. Hold on, let me find them. Who did I put that under? Okay, so I have this here. I don't even remember what this is. Oh, it's a Jane Eyre retelling. So we have that as option number 1. So if you want to select this for the book that I read, put in My Plain Jane. All right, next up. Okay, the next book is Mirage by Samaya Dodd. Guess what? I haven't read that one either. This is such a pretty cover. Let's see. Her own face was the enemy. In a world dominated by the brutal Vathic Empire, 18-year-old Amani is a dreamer. She dreams of what life was like before the occupation, of writing poetry, of receiving a sign from Dea that one day she too will have adventure and travel beyond her isolated moon. Okay, so maybe a little bit of a sci-fi in there, but ooh, so pretty. So if you want me to select this one, Mirage. All right, next up. Next up is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I have read that. I actually really love that world. Like, I love Kiss of Deception. Oh. And that is like a spin-off from the Kiss of Deception series. Also, I'm just like, I am loving that makeup look and that hair. Like, kind of tempted to go orange, to be honest. Okay, continuing on. Just so you know, the subscription boxes that these came out of, I believe we have Loot Crate, Totally Booked Crate, Owl Crate, Owl Crate Jr., and Second Star Books. I think that's all of them. Okay, next up is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. I don't think that I have read that. I have not read it, so let me find that. Okay, I found it. I actually have the sequel to this one as well. I got it from like BEA or BookCon. I think it's an ARC maybe. Bold, brutal, beautiful. Serena Tessero has been groomed her whole life to become a Grace, someone to stand by the heir to the throne as a shining, subjugated example of the perfect woman. It's her chance to secure a better life for her family and to keep her headstrong and rebellious younger sister, Nomi, out of trouble. But when Nomi catches the heir's eye instead, Serena is the one who takes the fall for the dangerous secret her sister has been hiding. All right. So if you want that one to be my choice, vote Grace and Fury. All right, next up. Okay, next up is The Legend of Greg, an epic series of failures by Chris Rylander. I haven't read that one either. So far, have I read any of them? I think, yes, there was one I read. Okay, let me find that one. Okay, so this was an Owl Crate Jr. book, and it looks like a fun middle grade. It says, the return of magic calls for a new kind of hero. Too bad his destiny can only lead to disaster. Okay, so you can just put The Legend of Greg. All right, what else do we have? Okay, next up is Night Books by J.A. White. Nope. Oh gosh, that shelf's gonna be really hard to get to. I've got like 6 or 7 giant stacks of books in front of it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop the camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. This is actually one I'm really intrigued by. This is another Owl Crate Jr. book. This one is a creepy, thrilling reinvention of Hansel and Gretel, and and it's a bookish book too, obviously. And I love that trope. So this is taking some of my favorite things, retellings, bookish. So if you want to vote night books, I won't be upset. All right, continuing on. Next up is The Walking Dead, the official cookbook and survival guide, written by Lauren Wilson. Okay, this is a cookbook, so I'm not really going to count this. I have read through it though, so I guess I'll just mark it as read. But cookbooks, I'm not gonna put here because they're cookbooks. Continuing on. Okay, next up is The Great American Whatever by Tim Federle. I have not read that one either. Let me go find it. Okay, so I'm a little concerned about how this haul is going because out of 7, I've only read 1. Yeah. And there's like 67 in this haul. Like, please let me have read the majority of them. And the start is just off to a rough start. So we have The Great American Whatever by Tim Federle. And let's see. Quinn Roberts is a 16-year-old smart aleck whose only worry used to be writing convincing dialogue for the movies he made with his sister. Of course, that was all before Quinn stopped going to school, before his mom started sleeping on the sofa, and before the car accident that changed everything. All right, so if you want that, The Great American Whatever. All right, continuing on. That book actually came in the Second Star Book subscription box, and this came with it. It was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I have read that one. Yay. So I've got another one down. Hopefully a lot more. Also from a Second Star Book subscription box, we had Scream All Night by Derek Millman. I have not read that one. Let me go find it. Okay, let's see. This one says, Dario Hayward knows one thing. He's never going back to Moldovia Studios, the iconic castle that served as a set, studio, and home to the cast and crew of dozens of cult classic B-horror movies. It's been 3 years since Dario's even seen the place, after getting legally emancipated from his father, the infamous director of Moldovia's creature features. And it says it's a darkly hilarious romp about growing up and finding your place in the world. So Scream All Night. Oh, my ratio is not good. All right, continuing on. Okay, also in one of the Second Star Book subscription boxes, we got Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer. I haven't read that either. Ah! Hold on. Okay, here we go. This one looks really cool. I think I have the sequel to this one as well. Or maybe I thought about getting the sequel. I don't even remember. This says, Nita doesn't murder supernatural beings and sell their body parts on the internet. Her mother does that. Nita just dissects the bodies after they've been acquired, until her mom brings home a live specimen and Nita decides she wants out. Dissecting a sacred teenage boy, or dissecting a scared teenage boy, is a step too far. What are books? Have I ever read a book? I don't know anymore. Okay, if you want me to read this one, vote Not Even Bones. Like, seriously, have I read anything? Oh my gosh, what did I do that month? Or the next month? Or the next year? Alright, continuing on. Next up is Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I don't know if I've read that one. I don't think I have. Hold on. Here it is. I have not read it. Let's see. This is the first in a heart-stopping trilogy that recalls the undeniable feminine power of Wonder Woman and the power keg action of Mad Max Fury Road. Seafire follows the captain of an all-female ship intent on taking down a vicious warlord's powerful fleet. So if you want me to read this, vote Seafire. Oh my gosh. You see how many? Like, this is already full. And I am nowhere close to being done. With this all. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have room to show you all of the freaking books that I haven't read if I keep up at this pace. Oh my goodness. All right, continuing on. Okay, so this next book is a book that I won from a giveaway hosted by Subscription Box Addict. And I'll put her link down below. She has a monthly giveaway, and I was very fortunate to win a Whimsify box that she had gotten an extra of. So I got Furyborn, the Imperium Trilogy Book 1 by Claire Legrand. I haven't read that. Okay. Holy moly, this is ridiculous. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I know a lot of people love this book. So let's see. It says, two young women, centuries apart, hold the power to either save their world or doom it. That's all I'll read of that. If you want to vote for this, enter Furyborn. All right, continuing on. Okay, these next books are books that I purchased from Books A Million. They are Deep Blue, Rogue Wave, and Dark Tide, all by Jennifer Donnelly. I haven't read any of those. I think Deep Blue is the first book, so I'm just gonna grab that one. Hold on. Okay, here it is. It's mermaids. This says, Seraphina, daughter of Isabella, queen of Miramar, has been raised with the expectation and burden that she will someday become ruler of the oldest civilization of the merfolk. And that's really all I'm going to read of that. But yeah, mermaids. So, Deep Blue if you want me to read this one. Alright, continuing on. Okay, so these next books are books that I got from Mackay's Bookstore here in Chattanooga. And the first one is Ink by Alice Broadway. I have read that one. My mom and I actually read that together and really enjoyed it. Continuing on. The next book is Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. Okay, I don't think I've read that one. I can't remember if I read Layer of Dreams, which is the second book in the Diviner series, and Before the Devil Breaks You, I think, is the third book. Hold on. Yes, that is the third book. Let me see if yeah, I don't have Layer of Dreams marked as having read it. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab that one, which is just right here. Hold on. She's a chunker. But I really like the Diviners, like the first book, and Marty and I were reading them together, so we might like refresh our memory on the Diviners and then read this if this is the one that's selected. So if you want me to read this one, put Layer of Dreams. Is it bad that I'm kind of wishing for lots more series so I can just pick the first book? Okay, hold on. Let me change out my battery because it's flashing, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry if the angle changed. Continuing on. Okay, well that's one stack down. 3 more stacks to go. Okay, these next books are books that I purchased from the Decatur Book Festival. So the first one is Kenny and the Dragon by Tony Ditterlitzy. I have read that one, but I'm guessing that is the only one out of the rest of the Decatur Book Festival ones that I have read, because I don't think I've read any of the other ones I got then. Continuing on. Okay, next up is the trilogy of The Other Side Tales. We have The Smoke Riders, The Tears of Time, and Forged in Flame. And these are by S.W. Heaton III. I have not read any of those. Hold on. Okay, so the first one is The Smoke Raiders, and this says, Addie is a chatterbox who can't stay out of trouble. Her mom works late and her dad has been missing for years. When a pack of boys from her class corners her in an alley, words won't save her. A wicked drop into a dumpster turns into Addie's big disappearing act as she careens shoeless and alone into a world of myth and violence called Other Side. And I mean, it sounds really, really interesting. And I think it'll be a pretty quick read. This is a self-published book as well. So let's say for this, put Other Side Tales. Also, just so y'all know, you can actually vote for more than one book if you want, though it's just going to be one book that's the winner. Alright, continuing on. Okay, these next 4 books are part of the Keepers of the Essence series. So we have Twillin's Redeemer, Nature's Lady, and these are all by Rebecca Aman. So there's the first book. Savior of Randor, Master of Air. Phoenicia's Hope, Water's Maiden. And Legend of Ashnir, Creature of Darkness. So yeah, I haven't read any of those either. But you know how I said I hope that there's a more series in there? Yay. So I don't have to add the whole stack. Okay, let me go grab that first book and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the first one, which is Twillin's Redeemer, Nature's Lady. And this says, at birth she was abandoned, at 16 she was found. As an elf she discovered her power, and as Keem's chosen she has to save the world. And that's all I'll read about that. So, cool. Another self-published book. And you can put, let's just put, because it's easier to spell, Nature's Lady. Alright, continuing on. Okay, these next books are books that I bought in the little bookshop there in Decatur called Little Shop of Stories. It was super cute. So the first one here is a book for Xander that he picked out. It's Fortnite, the Ultimate Unauthorized Guide by Grant Turner. Okay, so as I said, that was a book for Xander, and I actually think Xander has read it and unhauled it. So I'm marking that one as unhauled. Next was something that I was so excited to find. I didn't know this existed, but it's a graphic novel of Jem and the Holograms. I was just like, oh my gosh. I have not actually read that one, which is a shame because I'm super excited to read it, and I've had it for 3 years. Why I've not read it, I don't know. Let me go grab it. So I actually have a couple more in this series and still haven't read it, but I have volume 1, 4, and 5. So hopefully I love this and then I can get volume 2 and 3 as well. But Jem and the Holograms was like my thing when I was little. I loved Jem. Forget Barbie, it was all about Jem. And I'm super excited to read this. So yay. Oh, sorry, I guess I should say, if you want me to read this, vote Jem, G-E-J, not G, J-E-M. And you know what, I might just read it anyway. Continuing on. Next is Overwatch Anthology Volume 1. Okay, so this is one that was actually for Xander. He may still have it, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to mark it as unhauled because it's not on my shelf. It was for him. Next. These next 2 books are books that I ordered from bookdepository.com. The first one is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I have read that. I love that series, and so does Xander. So I have it in paperback, like all the books, and Xander has all of them in Owl Crate's special edition books. So we both have our own copies. He's got hardcover and I've got paperback. Next. Also, I ordered The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. Okay, I don't think I have read that one. Dang it. I have read the Darkest Minds series, like the first book in the Darkest Minds, like twice now, I think. But I still don't think I've made it all the way through that freaking series. Hold on, let me see how far I've gotten. Okay, so it looks like I've only read the first 2 books. If I have to read this one, I will have to refresh my memory on those 2. But let me go grab In the Afterlight, which is book 3. This is about this series is about kids getting developing these different abilities, and they've been put into like these camps and stuff to control them. They're like taken from their families and stuff, and some escape and they're on the run, and that's really all I can tell you. But I think most people have probably already gone through reading this series. But I actually really like this series. I don't know why I only end up reading 1 book and then putting it down. I think what happened was I read the first book and got distracted with reading other things, and then the next time I went to read the series, I read the first book and the second book, and then life, and now I'm gonna finally read the 3rd book. We'll see. So In the Afterlight, if you want me to read this one. All right, continuing on. Okay, these next books are books that I ordered from ThriftBooks.com. So the first 3 I have here are Burn for Burn, Fire with Fire, and Ashes to Ashes. And these are by Jenny Han and Saban Vivian. Okay, I have not read those. Let me grab the first one. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. Postcard Perfect. Jar Island is the kind of place where nobody locks their doors at night, where parents can sleep easy knowing their daughters are tucked away safe and sound in their beds. But bad things can happen, even to good girls. And sometimes the only way to make things right is to do something wrong. All right, so Burn for Burn, if you want me to read this one. And I have to say, I'm very, very, very thankful that there are a bunch of series so far, because that's helping. Alrighty, next up. And the last book from ThriftBooks is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rosh. I haven't read that either. Hold on. Okay, here it is. I actually think I have this whole series. At least I've got the first 3 books. I don't know how many are in the series, but I should read it at some point. This says, 16 years ago, the Kingdom of Winter was conquered and its citizens enslaved, leaving them without magic or a monarch. Now the Winterians' only hope for freedom is the 8 survivors who managed to escape and who have been waiting for the opportunity to steal back Winter's magic and rebuild the kingdom ever since. All right, so Snow Like Ashes for this one. And I have filled up another stack. So, let's see, maybe I'll move this stuff and set books here if I have to. Because we're only halfway through this haul. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, so that's 2 stacks down. Still got 2 stacks to go. And these are all books that I ordered from Amazon. Some of them I ordered used, but not all of them. There's a lot of books from Amazon. I didn't even realize I had so many of them until I separated them all out like this. Okay, so the first 2 books I have here are the paperbacks of P.S. I Still Love You and Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han. I have read both of those. Yay. Okay, next. Okay, next is Two Dark Reigns by Kendar Blake. Okay, I have to look because I know I read 3 Dark Crowns. I can't remember if I've read 2 Dark Reigns, so let me look. Okay, so I've read The Queens of Finburn, I've read 3 Dark Crowns, and 1 Dark Throne, but I have not read 2 Dark Reigns. So let me grab that one. Okay, here we go. So let's see, what can I tell you about this series? We have 3 sisters, all are kind of born queens, but they are placed in separate parts of the land, and they kind of rule over their particular part of land until they reach their 16th birthday, at which point a battle ensues and they all have to try to kill each other, and the one left standing will be the queen of all of the land. And they're raised to like hate each other, and they all have different kinds of abilities, whereas like one has an ability over animals, one has an ability over elements, things like that. So if you want me to read this one, 2 Dark Reigns. Okay, so I've cleared off an area and now I'm sticking books down here because there's so many that I have not read this time. I think this is probably my worst that I've done so far. Like, it's pretty bad. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have Pretties and Extras by Scott Westerfeld. Okay, so I have actually unhauled both of those. I read the first one in the series and didn't really care for it. I can't remember if I read the second one or not, but I ended up unhauling the entire series. Okay, next up is Unforgotten by Jessica Brody. I have not read that one, though I don't think that's the first one in the series, so give me 1 second to look. Okay, so Unremembered is actually the first book in this series. This says, when Freedom Airlines Flight 121 went down, they didn't expect to find anyone, alive that is, but there was one survivor, which is why a 16-year-old girl discovered floating among the wreckage, alive, is making headlines across the globe. All right, so if you want me to read this one, do Unremembered. All right, next I have some graphic novels. So first off, I have Space Battle Lunchtime Volume 1, Lights, Camera, Snaction, and Volume 2, A Recipe for Disaster by Natalie Rice. I have read both of those. Yay. Next up we have Giant Days Volumes 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I know that I've read some of those, but I can't remember if I've read all of them. So let me look. These are about these 3 college roommates. They're all in their freshman year of college, and it's pretty much just them navigating their first year of college. And I think with volume 5 is when they're actually finishing their first year. And it's a lot of fun. It's super cute. Okay, so I have actually read all 3 of those. I've read Giant Days all the way through volume 6. I really, really enjoy that series. So I need to continue that at some point, but yay, 3 down. And then the last of the graphic novels, and I've heard that this is the last in this series of graphic novels, and I'm so sad about it, is I Hate Fairyland Volume 4, Sadly Never After. So I have read that. I've recommended this series many times. It is probably one of my all-time favorite graphic novel series. It is fabulous. You know, I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know if the Back to the Future ones might beat out I Hate Fairyland, but I absolutely love that series. I'm just sad it's only 4. Next. Okay, next up is The Magic Misfits, the second story by Neil Patrick Harris. Okay, I can't recall if we read the second one. I feel like we did. That Xander and I were reading these together. Let me check. Okay, we did read that second one, so yay. Okay. We have not read the third one yet. Next up. Okay, next up is the Beyonders box set by Brandon Mull. Okay, a box set. Let me grab the first book in that set. This is a chunky paperback middle grade. Let's see. By reading these words, you have nominated yourself to recover the key word. Move swiftly. The knowledge you now possess marks you for prompt execution. The first syllable is A. It says an irresistible mix, Rick Riordan says, an irresistible mix of adventure, humor, and magic. I honestly don't really remember anything about this. But I actually have a whole lot of his books because they sound really, really interesting and like a lot of fun. Yeah, they're all kind of chunkers though. So if you want me to read this, you can put Beyonders. And honestly, I have no clue what I was reading around that time. After this, like, going through this haul, I really want to go back and like look at my vlogs from then and see what in the world I was actually reading. Since apparently I read almost nothing from this ridiculously massive haul. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, next up we have Every Day and Another Day by David Leviathan. Okay, so I'm gonna say I haven't read either of these, but technically I did read Every Day like 9 years ago, and I don't really remember anything about it. I didn't mark it. Like, I just remember that one person is like traveling to different bodies or something like that. But yeah, I read it like when it came out a long time ago. I have not read this edition, so I'm gonna mark it as unread because I would absolutely have to reread it in order to read Another Day, and I haven't read Another Day. So let me grab Every Day. So here we go. You want me to read this? Put Every Day. Okay, continuing on. Okay, another series that I got for Xander is Fablehaven, the complete box set by Brandon Mull. I have not read, I don't know what my dogs are barking at. I have not read Fablehaven either, so let me get that. It's another box set. Yeah, back when I got these, Xander was, let's see, he was 12 and we were homeschooling at the time. So we were doing a lot of reading together, and now he reads on his own. And the ones that I'm not interested in reading, I've passed on to him, or that I've read and don't plan on reading again, I'll pass on to him if he wants them. But ones that I do have interest in, I've kept, like Beyonders or Fablehaven. So eventually maybe we'll read them together, or if not, I'll just read it myself. So Fablehaven, this says, for centuries mystical creatures were gathered into a hidden refuge called Fablehaven to prevent their extinction. The sanctuary is one of the last strongholds of true magic. Enchanting? Absolutely. Exciting? You bet. Safe? Well, actually quite the opposite. So we have that. And next we have, so I just took a little break for dinner and to get Xander off to bed. And apparently I got some book mail in the mail today. So I thought I would go ahead and open that up and share it with you. It is Someday by David Leviathan. Okay, so that's the third book in that series, and as I said, I haven't read even the second book, so we already have Every Day here. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, the next book I have here is Timothy of the K by Theodore Taylor, and this is a companion to The K, which Xander says is his favorite book. Okay, so Timothy of the K, let me see if I have that on my shelves. That might have been something that I passed on to Xander. I purchased this because it's a companion novel to The Cave, which is one of Xander's, or maybe his actual favorite book. I don't know. It's one of his favorite books. And a while back when I got on the wheel of TBR, Xander he picked for me to read The Cave, and I also gave it 5 stars. And it's just a little short book. I highly recommend it. But Timothy of the Cave might have been something that just went straight to him, or it might be on my shelves for me to read. So let me go look. Okay, so that is one that went straight to Xander, so I don't have that, so I'm going to mark that as unhauled. Okay, next up is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Leonie Taylor. Oh, Lainey Taylor. Okay, I think I have read that one, but I'm going to check. Okay, I don't have it marked as read on Goodreads, but I feel like it was one that I was buddy reading with somebody a couple of years ago. Maybe we didn't finish it. I might not have finished the book. So let me grab that one. Hold on. Reading the synopsis, it does sound familiar, and I do recall reading part of it, but I think that we stopped reading it because there was one or both of us had something going on, and we decided to postpone, and then we just never went back to it. And yeah, so I don't think I actually ever finished reading this. So if you want me to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, put that. Holy cow, the books I have here. All right, next up. Okay, so the next 3 books here are part of the Storymaker series by Betsy Chow. We have Spelled, Wanted, and Banished. Okay, I have not read any of those. Let me go find them. And this is like a Wizard of Oz retelling, but it combines other fairy tales too. So in these books it picks up things like Robin Hood and Camelot. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you about Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It's a gorgeously written modern fantasy about a forbidden love, an ancient and epic battle, and a hope for a world remade. And then we have Spelled here, which is the first book. This is somewhere over the rainbow, all spell is about to break loose. Fairy tale survival rule number 32. If you find yourself at the mercy of a wicked witch, sing a romantic ballad and wait for your Prince Charming to save the day. Yeah, no thanks. Dorothy is completely princed out. Sure, being crowned Princess of Emerald has its perks like Glinda original ball gowns and Hans Christian Louis Vuitton heels, but a forced marriage to the charming / that brooding Prince Cato is not what Dorothea had in mind for her enchanted future. Fun. So, Spelled, if you want me to read that. I think we're getting close to the end. Next up. Okay, next up I have Gathering Deep by Lisa Maxwell. I haven't read that. I haven't read anything ever. Okay, so Gathering Deep is actually the second book in the series. The first book is Sweet Unrest. This says, New Orleans, a world where souls walk free and dreams become powerful portals to the past. So if you want me to read this, Sweet Unrest. Okay, next up we have The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes. Nope. Where is it? Here we go. Let's see. Zane Obsipo spends every day exploring the sleeping volcano in his backyard. The Beast, as he calls it, is the one place where he can escape other kids who make fun of him because he has a limp and walks with a cane. After a twin-engine plane crashes into the Beast, a mysterious girl named Brooks shows up at Zane's doorstep, insisting that he meet at the volcano, where she will reveal a terrible secret. Okay, so the Storm Runner. Okay, I've once again filled up the area. At least we're getting close to the end. It looks like maybe only 2 or 3 more books. Maybe I'll just have read them. Who am I kidding? I haven't read anything. Okay, next up I have Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. I have read that one. Okay. And then last but certainly not least, yes I know, we finally come to the end. The annotated Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And this is the Centennial Edition. Wow, okay. Y'all please don't vote for that. Ah! Where is it? Okay, so I'm just gonna say this. I'm not putting that on this list. I mean, eventually I want to read it, yes. But I'm actually doing like a buddy read thing of the Wizard of Oz series. So I don't want to do that before going through my like buddy read thing. So I'm not gonna put that on there. That would be something. Okay, I think I have enough for you to select from. Like, what the heck? All of these. So many. Let's see. If y'all wanted to be like exceptionally kind, y'all could vote for the graphic novel. There's only one graphic novel in all this. Jim and the Holograms. Or maybe Night Books, because it's like a little middle grade and bookish and fairy tale, and that seems like fun. Yeah, those would probably be the 2 nicest ones you could do. But really, anyone that you want me to read, go ahead and vote for. That makes me so nervous. Ah! This was definitely my worst round of Have I Read It. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, so which of these books would you like me to read? Which one would you like to vote for? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!